Today I'm going to share with you the secret hacks we use successfully every day to come up with new and innovative ideas. Isaac Newton was sitting under a tree contemplating when suddenly it literally hit him. An apple fell from the tree and bang, he got it, gravity. That must be it, right? Well, not exactly. There is evidence that the apple incident actually happened. John Conduit, Newton's assistant at the Royal Mint and husband of Newton's niece, wrote about the incident. The walk in the garden actually happened around 1666. While Newton was walking on the gardens of Cambridge and saw an apple falling that got him thinking, but Newton's work on gravity started at least 6 years before that, and it took him 2 decades to finally develop the full-fledged theory. Hi, I'm Ram, CEO of Red ID. As designers, people come to us almost every day to come up with new and innovative ideas to solve their problems. This is what design is all about, right? The thing is that innovation is often thought of as a mysterious craft, a state of mind that is saved for the rare few who are blessed with the right inspiration. Great inventors like Newton and Edison consistently came up with winning ideas. Edison, in particular, systemized the innovation process, repeatedly coming up with solutions like the light bulb, the phonograph, the motion picture camera. In 1876, Edison established the Menlo Park Laboratory, the first industrial innovation lab, where he was able to consistently come up with commercially viable inventions that made him rich and famous. However, it was not inspiration that drove Edison's success. As his famous quote says, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." So consistently innovative is A, possible, B, requires certain environmental conditions like Newton's Cambridge or Edison's Menlo lab. Innovation is in most cases a result of a structured, well-designed process that cultivates ideas and executes them. Here is my step-by-step recipe, tried and refined on hundreds of our clients. Step 1. Assemble a team. Most innovations are not created by a single person's work. It's usually a result of a group of people working together to solve the problem. To create innovation, you have to have a great team. When you do assemble the team, the most important thing you need to look for is diversity. Time after time, I saw that having people from different domains and different backgrounds always yield much more interesting results. In Hacking Growth, Sean Ellis suggests that the growth teams will be assembled with people from different parts of the company, breaking the silos of divisions and professions. If possible, have a small team with a designer, an engineer, somebody from customer care, somebody from marketing. Put them together and already you have a better chance for innovation. One thing that really helps is if you have someone that is very familiar with the users, or even a potential user herself. Thinking from the user perspective is always a good idea. Step 2, define the challenge before you look for a solution. In so many cases, we start the innovation process with an idea for a solution. We start designing based on that solution, which we think is great. But wait a second. Before you start thinking about the design, you have to clearly define the problem you're trying to solve. Einstein once said that if he had a problem his life depends on and an hour to solve, he would spend 55 minutes defining the problem and then 5 minutes solving it. Defining the problem in a clear way is so essential that you must make sure that your team is aligned on what we are solving. The best way to achieve this is by writing it down. Talking about stuff is great, but it is too loose for effective problem solving. I strongly recommend using Procter & Gamble's How Might We system to phrase your challenges. I have a complete video explaining about it. Check it out. Another good idea is to think about how success will look like and what are the indications that we are successful, and write it down too. This keeps the design focused on the thing that really matters and also keeps us focused on the North Star targets. Step 3, seek inspiration. My partner Orit asked her father what she should learn in college. Her father, Yossi, a great and exceptional man, told her to go and learn something that would make her an interesting person to talk to. She went and learned art, and she is one of the most interesting people I know, and also a great innovator. She always looks at things from a different and unique perspective because she's always on the quest for learning new things and making herself more interesting to talk with. Inspiration is so important. It opens our mind and gives us a boost of ideas. Many do this completely wrong. They look at their competitors for inspiration and try to outperform them. This may bring you closer to your competition, but rarely bring innovative results. When James Dyson first thought about his vacuum cleaner, he got the idea by looking at a sawmill that used cyclone technology. He took the main idea and implemented it in his domain. So looking at other domains facing similar problems can help us think about an innovative idea for our challenge. This is why it is so important to first define the challenge and then seek for a solution. To innovate, you need to look for innovative solutions to similar challenges and apply them to your domain. Practically speaking, when you do so, after writing down the challenge, ask each team member to find an inspiration example and ask them to write on each example the main idea and 3 things they liked about it. For example, Dyson would probably write sawmill, the great idea using cyclone technology. I like it because it's powerful, existing technology, and does not lose suction as it picks up dirt. Step 4. Set time to think. When we talk, we do not think and we do not listen. This is why so many meetings are a big bummer and a waste of time. We need to allocate time to think things through. This is in no way to say that we need to wait for inspiration. On the contrary, we need to clearly set small tasks with clear outcomes and bind them with time constraints. You do not need to have the perfect answer. You can be 60% sure you are right, but you need to make the team hand over their work when time is up. Step 5, favor execution. Ideas are pretty cheap. We can sit on a porch and have the best ideas in the world. However, executing is much harder. An okay idea with great execution is much better than a truly great idea that has not been executed or was poorly executed. One thing to look at when you want to drive innovation is to empower the innovation team with the budget and ability to execute. I know about so many hackathons and innovation teams that had great ideas but were not able to push them through because they were not empowered with the correct funds or resources. If you really want to drive innovation, you need to allocate the moving forward budget before you begin the process. Not doing so will demotivate the teams and make innovation a hearsay and not a true cultural state of mind. On the other hand, executing should be lean and quick. We should always seek for good enough outcomes that will enable us to meet our audience faster and to understand the pitfalls of our ideas. Don't fool yourself. Innovation is the practice of making mistakes and fixing them. If you are 60% okay with the results, you should ship it and fix it as it goes. If it's not embarrassing, that you are probably too late for the market. Step 6, iterate. Edison said, "I did not fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps." This is a profound insight on how innovations are created. It's always an iterative process. It's always an iterative process. This applies to every step in the way. You may have defined the challenge wrong. You may have found the wrong solution. You may have failed to execute properly. These should not be considered failures, but necessary steps to success. Plan on iterating and put it as part of your plans. For example, when you have an idea for a solution, never stop there. Think about at least 3 or 4 other solutions to the same problem. Ask each one of the team members to come up with a different solution after they already iterated on the original idea. Have a look at our Creativity Under Pressure video for more information. Iterating is actually how innovation feels like. It's not a light bulb moment. It's a series of failed experiments that leads to a greater success. That's it for today. I would love to know if you have your own ways to hack innovation. If you liked this video, please subscribe to our channel and get our weekly updates about innovation, design, UX, and products. See you next week.